Hello, everyone. Yes, I can't believe it. I'm actually talking about my 11th tattoo. Seriously, I've definitely enjoyed filming these and all of that lot. So, yeah, for once, I'm going to keep this at a decent length for a change. So, tattoo number 11. Right. Well, this is my full blown, not making it subtle, just putting it out there, full blown Disney tattoo. Yeah, this is my Mickey Mouse in his Fantasia outfit with his Christmas tree. So, where does this come from? Well, once again, I hope this isn't all over the place because yeah, I've kind of mixed this almost with my Care Bear tattoo video in a way. As you know, I was going to go to the same artist that did that, but because I decided on a different design, not knowing that he'd drawn it up, and as you know, he kind of went a bit all weird on me, so blah blah blah, changed artists. So we'll just leave it at that. Essentially, the first idea I had, because I actually, funny enough, let me show you. Here we go. Yeah, sorry guys. There we go. Yeah, I first got this idea because I really wanted a Christmas tattoo, and I was one day looking at this most magnificent piece of jewelry. Oh yeah, here's a little thing for you, in case if anyone's ever heard of this brand, Butler and Wilson. God, does he make the most best jewelry ever? But I was looking at this magnificent brooch that I've got, and it kind of gave me this wacky idea of, well, what if I was to actually get that, but made up of like different coloured Mickey Mouse heads? That was my original idea. And then weirdly, and this is the thing I still can't get my head around, my husband is far from a Disney tattoo. In fact, as in a Disney fan, he groans most of the time the fact that I love Disney this much. But I remember when I remember I don't always open up about tattoos that I've got to get. I try and keep it as a surprise and then tell him later and all of that lot. And that, but I actually told him about this, and he actually looked at me kind of strangely when I told him that idea, and he said, "Do you know what? You do seem to always want to do the sort of subtle, not the obvious thing, but for once in your life, why don't you actually just go and do this properly? You clearly love Mickey Mouse and you clearly love Christmas. Why don't you just get a full blown Mickey Mouse with a Christmas tree?" I thought, actually, do you know what? That is not half a bad idea. So that's where the idea change came from. This is actually his doing. And funny enough, some people say, so, oh God, but how many different incarnations of Mickey are there? Do you know what? Weirdly, even though I have never actually got on with the Fantasia movie, the one part of that movie that I've always loved, and I absolutely love that outfit, was the Fantasia section with Mickey in his red cloak and his pointy hat. And I also thought, at the time, and also, it's a red cloak. It kind of works with Christmas, doesn't it? So, and everything. So, yeah, so after all that kerfuffle, I knew that Siobhan had done Disney tattoos. Not for a little while, but she'd done, some great a Little Mermaid tattoo. So I knew she'd be able to do this and that. And she was very kind in also touching up my Care Bear, and because it had some bad scarring on it, because of course I didn't want to go back to that other artist, shall we say. So yeah, I literally thought of this not long after the the martial art tattoo that she did. But she, as you can imagine, just coming out of lockdown, she was actually really, really busy. So I had the martial art done on the 21st of April, and I think I must have messaged her. I think I might have still been healing this, maybe a week or so later. But I did say to her, you know, I don't need it literally right away because I want to have at least one payday in between these. And she was quite busy, all booked up in May anyway. So she settled on, well, what about, I've got one cancellation on June 18th. So I thought, yeah, that works. It's 2 months. So that'll be fine. And I thought also that's not, hopefully that won't be too hot by that time of year and everything. So yeah, as you saw from the video, went and had it done and all of that lot. And I've just realised, I'm sorry if I'm combining these videos, but luckily they're both in the same spot and all of that lot. But I didn't actually say about the pain on the martial art tattoo. Yeah, I'm sorry to say this. Wasn't a walk in the park, particularly with the lettering underneath being right on my ankle. And that's where it kind of, I did notice that she wasn't as super fast as some of the other artists. But like I said, she's a junior artist. She hasn't been tattooing for years. She'll get faster as she goes along. And in fact, I think she's already getting faster now, only a few months later and that. Yeah, that one wasn't pleasant. And then, yeah, and as you can see, this Mickey Mouse is literally on the mirror image of it. This one's right next to the Care Bear. And in all, we did take a couple of like little short breaks, but essentially this was about a 3-hour tattoo. And all I'm going to say is, I can't say that this has completely beaten this, because this just was just, it's almost like a different kind of pain. Maybe different bodies, it just feels different. But all I will say is that Mickey Mouse, I almost have to say it ties with this, bearing in mind this one was longer and it's so much bigger. But because it has got so much detail, it's got so many different colours, but it's on such a tender area. I mean, it's like this one. Do I love the position of it? Absolutely. It hugs around my Care Bear without any annoying gaps. So helpful. Yeah, my advice, guys, is don't get intricate detail coloured tattoos that take hours around your lower leg, ankles. It's just, ugh. So, oh jeez, was that a really hard tattoo to get through places? And funny enough, if you actually watch the video in detail and you see from when I changed the angle, from when I'm like filming over her, which wasn't the best angle, I know, but it was well enough you could see, to when she was shifting round to get to the tree. And as you saw, luckily for me, I had a table right next to me, so I was able to bring that table round, put the selfie stick that I had on a tripod stand on it, and I could get that much better angle. I don't know if you were able to tell or not, but did you notice of how much my opposite leg, my right leg, kept, do you know, like doing that? I know I did try to edit it out quite a lot. And did you occasionally notice how my body up here was moving? I don't know why. I kept finding that just suddenly sort of sitting up versus lying back, it was helping me to deal with this pain, because seriously, it just, yeah. And you know the worst part is, I don't even know which one it was, but I don't think it worked very well. She did put some sort of numbing spray kind of thing on it, and she did leave it for a little while, but unfortunately it just didn't help very much with this kind of tattoo. So in the end, it was that's what I mean. I think it literally does tie with this one for me, and that, yeah, so it was a bit hell. And then unfortunately, but I don't want to keep saying all the bad things about it, because you know what always happens in a bad situation? You learn something from it, and actually it was a really good learning curve for me. Because what I tend to do is when I use the second skin to heal these tattoos, I tend to put one sheet on the first night when I get home after I've cleaned it really well. Then it piles up with all the gunk, plasma, ink, blah, 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 the following day. And then I take it off and I change it, and then I put another sheet on, and as long as the seals don't break, I leave that on for like 4 days. But I really didn't take into account of how sore and how fragile this really, really tiny area. I mean, translation, this is 5 inches by 3 inches. This is probably, I don't know, maybe half of this, but it has as much detail. In fact, it's probably got more detail because it's got so many more colours in it. And I didn't compute that I think my skin was in such trauma, like literally such serious trauma. And even though I'd iced it and everything, because what happened is I took the first sheet off and I remember how sore that made my skin. And then long story short is, over that second day and third day, I kept putting a new sheet of second skin on, because what kept happening is it kept pooling up with so much plasma. It was just unreal. I just couldn't understand what was happening. So in the end, seek the advice of my artist. She said, just remove it, just start using it the conventional way. It dried up. But unfortunately, doing it the old-fashioned way, oh God, did I get some delicious scabs. And unfortunately, that's what led. So even though I was really careful, washing it well, putting moisturizer on it, I think some sort of, it wasn't infected before you start panicking, but there was one bit where the big mega scab on his brim did have a funny color to it. We think maybe some sort of dirt might have got into that scab and all of that lot. And even though I think I did pretty well, because my God, did I get some uber scabs on that thing. And most of them came off fine with no problem, but that did lead to me having to get that touch up that you've probably also seen since this. And that and everything, because I did lose some colour, all things considered. And she very kindly did that not too long ago, back in September actually. And that. But it did teach me the lesson that I'm thinking, why am I so, I think it was vanity, you know, literally just wanted to show it off. So the lesson that I've learned with this, and I did it on this Mickey tattoo on the touch up, because it was what I call a heavy duty touch up. You know, I was in the chair for about 20 minutes or so, and there was a lot of different colors that she did have to repack in here, and it looks so much better now, as you've probably seen. And what I did is I literally just put one, you know, cleaned it really, really well, made sure everything was super clean and sterile and all that when I got home. Put one layer of second skin on and literally just left it. I didn't, and on this one, you may think, well, you don't get ink spillage on tattoo touch-ups, but on this one, I did. Actually, I got a fair bit. But like I said, she did pack in a lot of, you know, colour. And not just one colour, there were several colours, if you know what I mean. So I actually did get quite a lot of ink spillage, but I literally left it on there for the full, well, I can leave it up to 5 days, but I had to, I think I just had enough of it being on there, if you know what I mean. So I left it on for 4 days and then just healed it, and then just moisturised it about 2 or 3 times a day for a couple of weeks, because it did go through that slight dry phase. Didn't get any scabs, thankfully. And everything was fine. So that's the lesson that I've learned. And I think it was a good lesson to learn. Literally, just put one layer of second skin on and just leave it for those 5 days. Does it matter if it gets ink spillage? You've taken a photograph. So if anyone does see your new tattoo, just show them the photo and all of that lot. So that's definitely what I'm going to do from now on. and everything, and it definitely will save on second skin. The only time I will reapply it is if, for example, when I say reapply, I think if I have to add to it is maybe on the edges, like if the edges start lifting up, and also put maybe micropore tape on it. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm just going to keep with one layer from now on. So yeah, so that's the whole meaning of it. Basically, you know, this one, you know, the meaning is pretty obvious. I love Disney. I love Mickey. And all I'm going to say is, do I love Christmas? Well, I've just realised you're probably going to see this actually probably the week of Christmas, or I'm trying to remember my schedule. I think it will be about Christmas. You'll see this, or maybe just post-Christmas. Yes, as you can see, yes, there is no Christmas up here because it's October when I'm filming this. And that, but all I will say is, if I was filming this when it was going live, not only would some of this room look like a Christmas grotto, but it definitely would be, because all I will say is this corner that you see here, that is where my magnificent 7-foot pre-lit Santa's Best Christmas tree goes up. So yeah, I must admit, even though we put that tree up early last year and then we did leave it up late in January because of lockdown, I am kind of starting to miss that tree. So I definitely will not be grumbling when end of November. Yeah, we usually put it up the last weekend of November when our Christmas lights get turned on in our town. So yeah, and Merry Christmas, everyone.